Here's the logo of one of the national spying agencies' Orwellian systems that they've used to invade our privacy and violate our Fourth Amendment rights on, just billions of occasions. It's the logo for the DCS 3000, the Digital Collection System 3000. It is an Illuminati owl of Minerva. The DCS 3000 is basically an updated version of Carnivore and Echelon, which has since become outdated with DCS 5000 and DCS 6000, which I'll get into here in just a moment. Notice it's the same basic symbol as the Bohemian Club. The Illuminati likes their owl because the owl represents wisdom. The owl sees in the dark. That's why they also encoded an owl into the upper right-hand corner of the $1 bill. That is a little bit hard to see on your screen here, but take out a $1 bill. That is an all-seeing Illuminati owl right there. I mean, at least the DCS 3000's logo isn't quite as creepy as the Office of Information Awareness logo, which was created in DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. This is their literal, admitted, authentic logo, an Illuminati all-seeing pyramid shining over planet Earth. They then gave this technology to other government entities. So let's take a quick look at DCS 3000, which, like I said, is a updated version of Carnivore and Echelon. You might be familiar with Echelon. I mean, Echelon has been around since in its modern form in the 60s. We've been learning a lot about the general public, rather, has been learning a lot about the NSA spying systems thanks to Edward Snowden's revelation. But if you've been in the resistance for any amount of time, I mean, some of our older supporters probably well aware of these systems because we not only just speculated about this stuff that was going on. I mean, information has been leaked out. I mean, there was a Lockheed employee who leaked information about Echelon back in 1998 after they realized that Echelon was spying on congressmen, and that was the purpose for it being devised. They said. I mean, Echelon was, oh yeah, here's the article in the New Statesman back in 1998. They talked about this. I mean, Echelon was reported in a European Parliament report in 2001 that you can get here. This is a 194-page report that they published talking about what Echelon is, how it's committing espionage, industrial espionage, how it works, where the centers are located. So Edward Snowden, God bless him, he did bring these revelations into the mainstream, but Echelon has been around for quite some time, which leads us back to the Orwellian Owl of Minerva logo for DCS 3000. The Electronic Frontier Foundation filed a Freedom of Information request and actually surprisingly got some information about this back in 2007, where it was uncovered that the $10 million Digital Collection System 3000, also known as Red Hook, handled trap and traces, a type of surveillance that collects signaling information, also known as SIGINT, signals intelligence. And so then it also reveals some information about updated versions. The DCS 6000, known as Digital Storm, just captures and collects all the content. So that we're talking about the audio calls, the audio of all phone calls, which I've covered in previous videos. It's not just who calls who. No, that was what the primitive DCS 3000 did. Just, who calls who and when and da-da-da-da-da and where the call was made from. No, and then they just updated that. But, I mean, Echelon, BBC reported on Echelon back in 2001. Of course, when the European Parliament had their report. The reason you can't see the article is because the internet back then had different formatting before the wide screen. So what is Echelon? Echelon's the name given to an international electronic eavesdropping network run by the intelligence associations of the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. It dates back to 1947. The first Echelon network was built in 1971, but has been regularly updated since then. The National Security Agency, as I refer to the National Spying Agency, is thought to have been the thriving force behind the network. How does it work? Well, Echelon is thought to be a real-time tapping network. Instead, it captures all traffic, which then sifts through and uses keywords to detect anything suspicious. So when we talk about dictionary keywords, I mean, like literally every phone call that you've ever made has been recorded and is stored in a database, and they can be searched with keywords. I mean, if the NSA wanted to find out which phone calls you have ever used specific words in, they would just enter those words into the dictionary search terms, and they would just basically do a Google search of your phone calls. And then they would just pull up the MP3 or whatever audio format those calls are stored in. The NSA Bluffdale, Utah base has enough storage capacity where if you were to basically stack hard drives from here to the moon, that's how much storage capacity it has. And so, yeah, that's, of course, they're using Illuminati symbols there. But, if you've been around in this game for a long time, we got some old school resistance fighters like Anthony Hilder, who's probably in his 60s. Some of these old school guys that have been doing this for a long time. They've known about this. I've known about Echelon for probably 15 years. And Carnivore was really revealed in 1997, which was the FBI's and NSA's first internet scouring tool. And so, just a couple interesting points there. Well, let's cover some more Illuminati symbolism, shall we? They like their Illuminati symbolism. Of course, everyone's familiar with the dollar bill symbolism, and again, here's the Office of Information Awareness. Just, the CIA has a nice sun symbol there as well. They like the sun symbol because the sun represents power to them. They have perverted it, of course. If you look at Obama's, campaign symbol, that's right there. That's a sun rising over the horizon. You see, the Republican elephant logo has a nice upside down satanic pentagram on it. Years ago, it used to be a bunch of right side up stars. But if you just simply do an internet search for the Republican elephant logo, look at this. Almost every single one of them has the stars upside down. That's a nice upside down pentagram. I have a video coming out soon about the Washington Monument, actually, which is just a big Illuminati phallus symbol, just representing their male dominance, their male power. It's a big penis sitting up there in Washington, D.C., which has a big Orwellian all-seeing eye light up on the top. If you've ever been to D.C. and driven around, it's just absolutely creepy. It's like the eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, just up there watching you. Almost everywhere you go in the city, you can just see the evil red eyes up there watching you. The Statue of Liberty, of course, is an Illuminati symbol, really just representing Lucifer. The spikes coming out of her head represent the rays of the sun. Of course, the torch represents the torch of Prometheus. Prometheus is the Greek allegory, similar to Lucifer, really. Giving the knowledge to mankind against the authority of the higher gods. The Colossus of Rhodes, which it was an old ancient statue in Greece, is basically what the Statue of Liberty is. It's a modern day Colossus of Rhodes. Notice the notice the crowns coming out of his head. Where's another picture here? There we are. The Colossus of Rhodes represented the sun god Helios. That's where we get helium. The sun is made of helium. Helios, the sun god, of course, having a torch up there as well. So, just a couple interesting points on the. Just another interesting owl symbol with the DCS 3000. Now, of course, been replaced by DCS 6000, or it doesn't matter what they're calling it. But again, thank you to Edward Snowden for just at least getting this information out into the public. But still, nobody's been held accountable. Nobody's been arrested. At least Rand Paul has filed, a class action lawsuit. But people need to go to prison. They're literally violating our Fourth Amendments billions of times. Just every phone call is recorded. Whoops. And then they get around it because they have their other sister countries in the Five Eyes. Those are the countries that make up it's really Six Eyes. You got to throw Israel in there. They don't like to mention that. But that's who makes up the NSA echelon type of a system. So whatever you call it, echelon, prism, it doesn't matter. It's the same system. It just keeps evolving and getting faster and faster. And I mean, it's probably to the point where they can insert target lists and then voice print search either in real time or probably very rapidly after a phone call is made. You know, I mean, you take your cell phone out, you have the Shazam app. It can pick out and identify the name of a song that's playing just in a matter of seconds. Out of the millions and millions and millions of songs, it just listens to it and it just identifies it. And so they have these voice print systems as well. But the big tech companies just keep on trying to build their all-seeing, all-powerful God. I mean, they're probably literally just working for demons. Literally supernatural entities that they're getting information from, directions from, to create this kind of a power. I mean, Ray Kurzweil, one of the chief engineers over there at Google, I mean, you ask these people, these transhumanist trendies, these singularity promoting crackpots, you know, if there is a God, and they'll say, their answer is, not yet. Not yet. They're building a God. They're building a portal to really just let the demon in, to just let Satan take over planet Earth and rule as a God. They're trying to replace and supplement God's power. God is all-knowing, all-seeing, and they're trying to emulate that power. But much like the allegory in the Lord of the Rings story, nobody, no man, can have that much power, because it ultimately will corrupt, which is why in the Lord of the Rings, the lead character went to go and destroy the ring, because even he would become corrupted by its power. And so we're talking about the most powerful people in the world. That's why the CIA is, called the Central Intelligence Agency. Oh, they're very smart, but they're very slithery, like sick serpents. So anyway, if you want to get up to speed, I urge you to go to Amazon.com or log into any of your e-reader and get my book, Big Brother, The Orwellian Nightmare Come True. It came out in 2011, about 3 years ago now. March of 2011. And so every day, it just gets more and more valid. I mean, the stuff that I talked about in there just, is finally leaking its way into the mainstream press. People are finally starting to understand. But people need to be held accountable in the government. I mean, people need to be indicted. People need to go to prison. These people need to get sued. So thankfully, people at the Electronic Frontier Foundation and other, non-government entities that are these watchdog groups are trying to do what they can. But it is just incredible how far this country has just sunk and how much our rights have been violated. So anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. Check out some of the previous videos and the playlists. And stay tuned because there's more videos coming soon.